Hi everyone, my name is Katie Nguyen, and this is going to be my introduction speech for Intro to Argumentation. Just to preface what the speech is going to be about, I'm going to be talking about my past, mostly about like what my experience is, who I was when I was younger. I'm also going to briefly go over my family life, the type of people my parents were, so that is kind of referencing how I turned out the way I am. I'm also going to be talking about the relationship I have with words and what they represent to me. I'm going to be talking about who I am right now, as in the present, and how my past has affected the person I am today and the way I present myself to the people around me. And lastly, I will be talking about the future I hope to achieve, how I hope to use my life's experiences to become the person I'm meant to be through effective communication, as well as express myself in a way that's respectful to everyone around me and everyone in the world. I want to kickstart this presentation off with a fun fact about myself. This is not something that I would like really say, but just a little story. I want to talk about how I can breathe fire, and I'm going to be explaining how I found this out, how I developed this skill, and what this means for my future throughout my speech or presentation. So, in the past, I still am. I am the oldest daughter of four kids in an immigrant household. My parents moved here from Vietnam, my mom when she was about my age, and my dad when he was already an adult. So already we live in a bilingual household. And despite having the words of two languages accessible to my entire family, I think that effective communication is something that we struggle with. So growing up, I had a difficult relationship with words. I was nonverbal until the first grade, despite my parents speaking two languages. However, I did learn how to read before I could talk. So I learned how to read in maybe kindergarten, preschool. And throughout this time, up until maybe fourth grade, I had a deep fascination with words. I felt that my words meant something, and words were something that I held dear to me. So later on, I would be interested in debate and politics starting in fourth grade when I did a class debate and my teacher told me I should become a lawyer. And that's something that stuck with me throughout my life. That's something that I look back on very often. And this is when I started feeling sparks. I felt that my words, they would cause like a burning sensation. And I felt like eventually some things I would say would cause fires to happen. So this would lead me to where I am today. I'm currently a sophomore at Evergreen Valley High School, and I never stopped talking. So despite the fact that I was nonverbal until I was about fully sentient, I never stopped talking. This is something my teachers constantly tell my parents. I never miss out on a chance to talk about politics in class debates. Those are my thing. I currently do mock trial and speech and debate, and I serve as the community's outreach head to about four nonprofits in the Bay Area. I would say that my words cause me to hurt people sometimes. I say a lot of things I can't take back, and my words burn people. I feel like when the words travel up my throat and they just rest on my tongue, instead of thinking about what I have to say now, I say it without really thinking of consequence. And I feel like that's something that I do have to work on. I would say in the future, I hope to really reach people. I hope to help people. I want to become an activist so that I can really talk about things that matter. I want to like serve as like the bridge between people's needs and their safety. I want to talk to I want to talk to city council about things we can do about immigration policies and just how we can just like make life overall better. I feel like I do have a lot of good ideas, and I came to terms with the fact that because I talk a lot, because my words actually mean something, because I can burn people with my words, I felt the need to just really realize and come to the realization that fire doesn't always have to mean something is destroyed. When a habitat burns down because of wildfires, it's something that starts over. They get a new beginning, and oftentimes after that, the habitat becomes something that's more inhabitable by other animals. And I feel like if I'm going to burn things with my words, if I'm going to say things that can really cause change, can create these huge movements, I would want my words to catch fire onto something that should be replaced and should be refreshed and restarted. So in conclusion, how I learned to breathe fire, I realized from a young age that words meant things. When my parents would talk in different languages, they wouldn't always have the right words to say despite being fluent in two different languages. And I felt that sometimes you don't need to talk a lot to mean a lot. And that's the relationship I had with words, because I am the daughter of immigrant parents living in a bilingual household. This was developed in my past when I was nonverbal for most of my life, so I was able to really listen to what people had to say and what they could say about the way they were living, their situation, people's complaints, people's pride, people's happiness. I listened. And that turned into me being able to express myself clearly today in the present. And I constantly seek out reasons to talk about things that I believe in, things that I'm passionate about, causes that I think are worth fighting for and worth talking about. And in the future, I hope to set ablaze certain systems that we have to work through, certain things that should be changed. I hope that my voice can really make a difference because, yeah, I breathe fire, but I feel like that shouldn't always be a bad thing. Thank you. My name is Katie Nguyen. I want to thank you all for listening. This is my story on how I learned to breathe fire and the introduction and how I would sum my life up in one short 7-minute speech. Thank you.